What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Uncalled for +1. It's episode 5 because we have Logan here as our +1. He's the
Logan.
He's the fifth wheel.
Oh, there we go.
It does work. There you go.
Hey, Logan.
Logan's our fifth wheel. So what?
He's right there.
He is. Yeah, he's right down here.
He was.
He was. That's fair. But anyways, Uncalled for episode 5. So 4 + 1. You know, we had 3 where it was just 3 of us. 4 where there was us 4, and it was our golden episode. And now it's 4 + 1 for 5. So I suppose that means the next one has to be, we're gonna be out a person. This is John's last week, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Sad day. Big sad.
It is the saddest of sads.
Can we get F's in the chat?
F's in the chat.
So,
pay respects for John.
Since this is Logan's first week here, he doesn't have a topic, but Dan apparently has a topic for Logan that he would like to discuss with him here.
Nervous.
So he's been teasing us. He's been teasing us all
It's
week.
a fantastic topic.
It is a fantastic topic.
He's been telling us, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but Logan's going to hate it. And,
you guys know.
And
Logan
so we, let's find out what it actually is. So,
You want me to blow it up?
get
Start
into
off?
it, man.
All right.
Let's do it.
I would ask a question that's really like a statement, and I just want your feelings on the truth. The statement is Star Wars is the most overrated franchise in existence.
Agreed.
Oh my God.
How you feeling, Logan? How you feeling over there?
Oh my gosh.
How you feeling?
Dan. Dude, that statement right there just upset me.
So
much.
true. That is the point.
That's not true at all.
It is so true. And we're gonna start off and jump into
Oh my gosh.
the biggest fact. I'm not a hater either. I'm not a Star Wars hater. I'm just not one of the fools that I can call Star Wars like diehard fans. I think everything that is cool about Star Wars, everything that is worthwhile, comes from the extended universe outside of the movies. I think the movies are garbage.
That's fake news.
I would agree with
That is
Logan.
fake
That's
news.
definitely fake news.
Do I need to mute Logan?
No, don't mute
No,
Logan.
he's good for now. I'll tell you later.
No, I definitely think Star Wars is great.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of my
I enjoy
favorite.
it.
I would say it's my favorite movie franchise. It's not my favorite movie, but
Space
like,
Jam.
actually, you know what?
Dark
Ooh,
Knight
I
trilogy
was gonna
is
say
so much better than
I was
Star
gonna
Wars.
Dark Knight trilogy
Don't even pull that.
is right up there with me for like my favorite movie series. I kind of forgot that existed for a few seconds, and
PK, you're late. You missed the good stuff.
it just popped in my head. But no, Star Wars, it's definitely not overrated.
Oh, it's
it is
incredibly
definitely
overrated.
Yeah.
You think so? Really?
I'll give it to you with the
No.
sequels because those are pretty trash, but the prequels and the originals.
See, it's
Mute him, Tim.
He's gone.
He's gone.
funny. Like,
That's all you get a Logan.
I think Episode 3 is my favorite Star Wars movie, though. I think out of the whole franchise, that's probably my favorite one because I love Darth Vader. He's my favorite villain of all time. So, like, seeing the transformation to him, I love it. It's great.
It's so basic.
That's the whole story. It's about
Can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm still
Yeah.
muted.
You're
You muted, you jerk.
You can unmute him. That's okay. We'll let you go.
You can unmute him. It's fine.
No, I mean, like that's the whole story. Like it's about Anakin and it's about Darth Vader and it's about that, that character's arc and that's what the whole prequels are about is Anakin becoming Darth Vader and then Darth Vader his redemption into the original trilogy. I think it's a beautiful story.
It is.
so
It's
basic.
a great story.
It's
Especially
so
when
basic.
you look into it, like it's like the lore and the world of the.
Oh yeah, hey, we'll get there.
Okay.
The lore, the world building is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It not in the movies. It's so basic and one-dimensional. It's just ridiculous. The cool stuff comes from the extended universe, the canon and non-canon. I think the non-canon is freaking fantastic.
Especially the old books. That
Oh
they
yeah,
nicked.
so
But
good.
Can
I
you
do
call
like
that part of the universe then if it's not canon?
Yeah, people
Yeah.
still think it's part of the
Yeah.
universe.
But it's not officially
And-
canon, so does it count?
And they continue to take pieces of that and make it into
Yeah.
canon. Like you saw that, let's see, Knights of the Old Republic, right, with Darth Revan. You saw that become canon in the last Star Wars movie.
Okay. That's fair, I guess.
I mean,
but
you
it's
see
not
that
like-
lots of times. They take pieces that are cool that they can work with and add it into whether it's a TV show or a movie or whatever. It's not the huge stuff, obviously, because it's mostly about Luke, the extended universe,
Yeah.
where he becomes, the truly amazing person that he should be that doesn't really show in the movies.
Well, that's
as you
also
noticed.
Disney's fault because
I say Disney really screwed those
like
sequels.
that's why Last Jedi is probably one of my least favorite movies of all time, just because they destroyed Luke's legacy and like made him just this hermit, and like the whole premise of that movie is like,
So that movie's
Oh.
trash, right?
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that movie's trash. That movie's garbage. I do not like that movie.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
See, I am very much a special effects guy, so I do love the special effects
Okay.
in the sequels. The story, not so much. There's a lot of
Sure.
things. There's a lot of stuff I don't like about the story in it. Of the characters, I'm not a fan of. Like the fact that no one ever before in the Star Wars universe was like, "Hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna light speed into another ship." Like you can't tell me that's never been thought of until that moment when that chick was like, "Oh my god, I gotta save everybody."
It's good writing, right?
Terrible writing. And so trust me, I love Star Wars, love it to death, but the sequels sucked. Honestly, I don't like anything that Disney did because I think even Rogue One might be one of the worst Star Wars
Okay, well, you've
movies.
seen Mandalorian. Oh, you haven't seen Mandalorian?
I haven't seen The Mandalorian
Oh,
yet.
you would definitely change your
That's
opinion. on
where
that.
it gets really good.
It is.
Okay.
I agree. Mandalorian was phenomenal.
I'm just
even-
talking movie-wise. I
Yeah.
think Rogue One might be my least favorite. I fall asleep.
Really?
I fall asleep every
I think
time.
Rogue One's great.
It's so boring to me. And I don't know why. It doesn't grab me like the other ones do.
Why did the other ones grab you?
I honestly don't know.
I think lightsabers.
I think maybe, yeah, like
I
the
really think-
lightsaber
Okay,
fights are...
that's a good point, right?
Yeah.
You love the original trilogy. You think it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
The Star Wars duels and battles in that were terrible.
Yeah. And like that's something that like as a Star Wars fan growing up with the franchise, I used to be. I think the prequels are better. Like I thought that growing
Well,
up.
that was your era, right?
Yeah, and so then I grew up, and now that I'm older and a kind of more seasoned Star Wars fan, I actually like the original more, and I appreciate it more for kind of what it did for the story. And I love, like, I think Return of the Jedi is probably my favorite movie, which I know I probably get a lot of flack for Star Wars fans, because I know a lot of Star Wars fans think that's the weakest of the original. But I just love that movie. I love how Luke's become his own, the finally realized Jedi, and just a lot of those
A lot
beats
of
in
people
that
would
movie.
say New Hope is the worst of the original trilogy, but I mean, I think they're all pretty mediocre. All right. To what point do you think part of the love for the franchise is iconicism, and then what is actually like we really like this? Because it's definitely the most iconic franchise
Yeah,
to exist. I would say so.
yeah.
For a lot of reasons, like the time that came out, it was pretty new. Like you didn't see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, it,
The-
like
the world building and stuff was
Lucas-
like
yeah.
that's kind of different, right?
Now, this is a stupid question because I honestly don't know, though. What came out first, that or Star Trek? What's an older franchise? Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star
Like
Wars.
movies wise, Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
I don't know exactly when the first Star Trek TV show came out, but they're two. They're two. I guess you could say they're two sides of the same coin, but they're very different. Star Wars is supposed to be more action packed, and Star Trek was more exploration and
There's a lot of talking in Star Trek.
dialogue and
Yeah.
It's like the entirety
which
of Star
it knew
Trek.
it knew how to do dialogue. Star Wars not so much. George Lucas would even say he sucks at dialogue.
Yeah.
You can
I
see
think-
that in the prequels.
I think Anakin
I hate
has some of
sand.
the- Hey.
It made for
say
good
it.
memes.
It sucks. It's cool.
Made for good memes.
It's everywhere.
I don't disagree. I hate sand, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It came out at a time. It was new, like I said. It really revolutionized what was known for special effects at the time,
yeah.
which definitely had a huge impact. I would say, honestly, Tron should deserve more than that. But Star Wars was huge, and it really like set off the.
Huge.
Yeah, we know. It's our name. It's our name. We get it.
Yeah, just like shut up.
But story-wise, like we know what it's become and developed into, and it's so expansive in the lore and
Yeah.
the mythology of Star Wars is really cool, right? There's lots of awesome storylines, and the world building is like top notch.
Yeah.
But let's just jump into the movies. What about that was like a good story, especially going on to the sequels? Let's just start with the original trilogy. Okay, good versus evil. It's hard to get away from that. Granted,
That's like
Yeah.
almost every
it's granted
movie
that
series
that's how it
ever.
always comes.
Yeah.
But very simple, good versus evil. Big bad thing, Death Star.
Yeah.
Next movie. Bigger Death Star. Do you want to keep going? Because I think there's even bigger Death Star eventually in the series too, right?
Well, like I said, like the main focus of the series as a whole, besides the sequels, is that it's Darth Vader's story, and
It's
you
not
see,
though.
But
It's Luke's
no.
story.
See, that's what people think, but it's in reality. Like George Lucas's vision for Star Wars was Vader's story, and that's the whole point for the prequels, was to show Anakin's transition into Vader. And it's like, it kind of, if you watch The New Hope, you see that right away. You
Sure.
see that in the Tantum 5, when Vader first comes out, you see this menacing villain that's just he looks so cool, and you just want to know about him. And you see him, you don't really see much of him in The New Hope, but then after A New Hope, you see that, he kind of got defeated in the prior movie. And so Empire, that's why Empire is so great, is the fact that you actually see Vader has to kind of be like, he has to kind of come out of his loss and redeem himself to the Emperor. And, like, a lot of the extended lore does expand upon that. And I do think, if you just watch the movies, you want to get that full dialogue and that full story.
Not at all.
But I also think you could argue that for every franchise, because every movie only has
To an extent.
so long to tell a story.
Sure.
And so, you're always going to get extended universe content that's going to expand.
And that's why the TV shows I think are so fantastic, because they can really delve deeper. Like if you haven't watched The Mandalorian,
Yeah,
Jordan, watch it. It's
So
fantastic.
watch it.
I have
So
to at
Just
some
the
point. I know.
little bits, the nuances, everything that's added, like especially with
Well, let's
um,
not bring in spoilers for the.
Oh, I'm not.
Yes.
Especially with like Dave Filoni when he directs the episodes he directs, and the little tiny bits that you see from Clone Wars, fantastic.
Dave Filoni.
Fantastic.
So I need to watch Clone Wars as
Yes.
Yeah, you should.
Yes, you should.
It's
Okay.
good. They're a lot of fun.
well. Is that just so I'm clear? That's the animated one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, now they're doing the Bad Batch, which is like a spin-off of that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
just...
Is that animated as well?
Yes.
It is. That's
Okay.
the
Dave
Stormtroopers.
Filoni, like, he knows
Clone
what
Troopers,
he's
I'm
doing,
sorry.
and he actually cares about George Lucas's vision, unlike, kind of like
What, Disney?
Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy.
He gets
do.
a lot of crap, Ryan Johnson, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But I just want to go back to something you said, like it's Darth Vader's story. He was such a
Yes.
this character that people latched onto, right? What is Darth Vader's worth without Luke, though?
Well,
That really came to be because Luke. You find out Luke is his son, right? That's where everything stems from. So without that, if Luke wasn't his son, he'd just be the big bad guy that they fight.
well, see, that's the point.
Cardboard
it's-
cutout villain.
You right? That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what the Emperor was.
Yeah.
But I know it's just a little thing I kind of noticed. I guess.
Yeah,
Your
well, I
thoughts
mean,
on
that's
it?
the whole point of it, is that it's him being redeemed by his son, and his son becoming, that Jedi, and getting redeemed in Return of the Jedi.
Sure, yeah.
And
So it's
becoming-
really the story of Luke redeeming him.
I'd
Not
say,
really the
like,
story of Anakin's redemption, but the story of Luke redeeming Anakin.
Vader
that is
doesn't
definitely-
change if Luke doesn't.
I'd
work
agree
with
with that.
it.
So
but
the
also
main
it's
character would be Luke in all that.
That would be my argument.
Yeah, I
But,
could see that. I could see that, but I definitely think you want to have. I mean, obviously, you want to have Luke without Vader,
Sure.
and
yeah.
so I think it's still Anakin's story. It's his son coming to redeem him.
Question. Sorry, my memory's foggy. I guess. When do you actually When is that I Am Your Father scene?
Empire. It's
Empire,
like,
yeah. Like,
kind
is
of
it,
Yeah,
how
episode
long
5.
is it? Is it right,
right
at the end?
at
Right.
the end of Empire.
At the end.
Yep.
So you got like
Yeah.
a whole movie without knowing anything.
Yeah.
So that's telling a little bit too. But
I don't
You
even
said
think
the-
did George Lucas even know when he wrote it that it was going to happen that way.
So he knew.
lots of stuff changed.
Yeah.
There's lots of stories. Like the whole Luke kissing Leia thing. That was a retcon.
Yeah. Yep.
That wasn't supposed to happen because they're brother and sister, obviously.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be like a love interest romance there.
Yeah.
And then he later on down the line, he's like, oh, they're going to be siblings.
Yeah. So with the original trilogy, like, they came out with A New Hope, and it was just Star Wars, just because at the time, like, nobody knew it was going to get as big as it did, and so
Yeah.
they thought they were just going to do the single movie. George Lucas thought he was just doing the one movie, and then after that, they're like, oh, this got pretty big. Let's see if we can do another one. So after that point, then George kind of started building this world and building these characters, and like that's where you get
Or
the,
stole it from his roommate, if you believe that.
What's that?
I said, or stole it from his roommate. If
Is
you
that a
believe
theory
that.
too?
Yes.
Really? I
A
didn't
lot
hear
of people
that.
believe that.
I've never heard that one.
That this whole thing was a fan fiction story written by his roommate in college that he found in a notebook and took. I don't know if that's true or not. Don't get on me,
okay.
but a lot of people actually think that. That's a theory.
Yeah,
I
I've
guess.
never heard that before.
I don't know if it's been debunked or proven or anything. I'm sure not. But you're saying though, Logan, Vader was redeemed, right? That
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, he turns his back on the Emperor at the end of A New Hope, right? And that's kind of an interesting thought, I guess. Is he really redeemed? You see his Force ghost, right?
Yes.
With Obi-Wan and Yoda, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's all just like a switch, and everything is forgiven, even though he like destroyed Alderaan and planets of people and stuff.
Well, see, that's
and
the thing.
And
he
don't
gets to
forget
live out
something-
and chill
Don't
with
forget
Yoda
about
and
the
Obi.
younglings.
And there's something else that kind
The
of confuses
younglings.
me. It took even Yoda and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon how long to master the immortality skill so that they could become those ghosts?
That's a good.
How long did
Like-
Anakin study this?
So
How long did he train for
All he
this?
did was save his son, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, everything's forgiven."
But wasn't he like the most powerful Force user?
But still, did he know how
Outside
to
of
do
Luke,
that?
yeah.
So
so
He
there's,
would have been if he didn't. He
to
was the
Weston's
chosen
idea.
one.
There actually is a lot of extended
Before he
universe stuff
switched,
that
but-
explains that.
Yeah.
And how.
well, you
he-
see, they never do that in
Yeah,
the movie,
yeah,
and it would be
and-
nice to have
yes.
some type of
Yep.
a background for it.
I'd give you that.
Now, granted, I have seen some of that, but I'm saying this from the perspective of somebody who would only have seen the movies.
Yeah.
It makes no
Yeah,
sense.
I get that. And going back to the point of him being redeemed so quickly. It's a lot of the stuff with Star Wars is it treats Vader and Anakin as separate beings in the same body. You see that with pretty much all the Sith
They're not,
have
though.
their personality, like their Sith personality. Darth Vader is treated as his own character, and you see that a lot more with the extended stuff. But you see it's a fight between these two people, and Darth Vader fighting for control. And for that whole time, Darth Vader was ruling with the Emperor and stuff. It was Vader was in control. And you see, it's a lot of the extended stuff, you see hints of like Anakin coming back. But for the most part, it's Vader is the character. And that's the one doing all the evil.
And I
So
find
you're
that as
saying-
a huge cop out.
So you're saying all these are just multiple personality disorders?
It's very similar to that idea, at least with Anakin and Vader.
That is definitely a cop out.
I think it's a cop out
Yeah.
because, I mean, if you want to go into, let's just say, Clone Wars. That's not movies, right? The whole scene. I don't know if anyone's seen it or not, but all the scenes with him and Ahsoka when he is Vader. Kind of throws that out the window, though. Especially how it ends in the series. With her lightsaber and stuff. I feel like he's two different people.
Well, no, you see that though, because in the Clone Wars,
I don't think so. I
in
think
the- in the
that's
Clone Wars-
grasping at straws.
If you watched in the Clone Wars, the scene you're talking about where he grabs their lightsaber at the end, you see his eye. If you really look, you can see his eye change from red to blue, and like that's the thing. Like in a lot of Star Wars, especially the extended stuff, you see the fight between the two with the eye colors. His eye will be blue when he's Anakin, and his eye will be like orange, the Sith orange when it's Vader. And most of the time it's the Sith orange, but then you get points like that where he picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber, remembers her.
But he's still Vader in his armor, like commanding his troops and stuff. Like he's still Vader. He's
Yeah.
just struggling with his decisions. The whole two-person thing is so dumb to me. Like it makes much more sense if he's struggling with everything. His new beliefs, past beliefs, old relationships, new relationships, where he wants to go and what powers he's using and stuff. That's fine. I hate the two. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, and I mean, Star Wars isn't for everybody, and even within the Star Wars fandom, there's a lot of stuff that's not for everybody in the Star Wars fandom. It's like we're talking about
course.
the sequels. Like I love Star Wars to death; it's probably one of my favorite things, but
We
I
know.
do not like the sequels in a lot of ways.
I enjoyed the first one,
I do
The
like
Force Awakens.
I do think Force Awakens is probably the strongest one.
Honestly, like, it's tough to say, like, what's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
I think they're all entertaining.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Force Awakens more than I think I enjoyed any of the movies before it for a while. I don't know. It was just something new a little bit,
Yeah.
even though it really wasn't new. Everything was so cliche, and you could just see everything coming because it was like JJ's I don't know, trying to placate the fans who have been hurt so much because they can't be given what they wanted. They don't know what they want. And no matter if they were given what they wanted, they'd hate it regardless.
Oh, I
That's
feel
just
like
Star Wars fans.
we could all,
suck.
yeah, I feel like we all can agree. Star Wars fandom blows. Like, there's a ton of crappy people in the Star Wars fandom.
I think that's just true about any fandom.
Yeah,
to
I
be
agree.
fair.
And I think it
I
does.
mean, it's not just Star Wars.
It
at
does
that
lend
point.
itself
It's
to that.
literally
The
everything.
fact that Star
But
Wars
Star
is
Wars
so big.
is by far the worst that I know of, man.
Yeah, it's.
You can't you can't debate that one. But I don't know.
I think the biggest issue I have with the sequels is like, and J.J. Abrams just came out and said it, like, there was just no vision for it, and like they didn't really know what they wanted to do, and then they brought Ryan Johnson in for the second one, and it was like he did his own thing and completely disregarded all of the Force and what the Jedi stood for, and what he tried to like tear down the like normal like things of the universe and just make its own thing. And
I
didn't
kind
rub
of
me the wrong way.
appreciated a little bit of that. I like how he tried to do something actually new, like you said, Star Wars fans are never happy.
Yes.
They want the same thing. You give them the same thing. They hate it. They want something different. You give them a little different. They hate it. They want the same thing.
Yeah.
It's that kind of garbage. But Ryan Johnson, like, obviously there was some messed up stuff in the movie, for sure. But he like tried to go a direction that was a little different. Like, people really, just one specific instance, I guess, the whole who were Rey's parents, right?
Mhm.
And then she got to Snoke, and he's like, you're nobody. They were nobody. Like,
Yeah.
I actually really liked that. That was everyone hated it for some reason.
I actually like that too.
And I'm like, that's cool. That means that literally anyone can have this power, can become this person. But no, then you just got to revert it back and retcon it. And, Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yeah.
She was destined with this
Oh
power.
yeah, that's
like, it's such
that's
garbage.
That's one of the only things I did actually like about Last Jedi was the fact that it was Rey was a nobody, and like she came.
That
to
was
this
cool,
point-
I thought.
Yeah, I did too. And then they kind of retconned that, like you said, in Rise of Skywalker, where it was like, oh, she's a Palpatine, and then the really thing that rubbed me the wrong way about that movie. I think there's a lot more good things in Rise of Skywalker, but the thing that really rubbed me the wrong way is at the end when it's like, oh, you're a Skywalker. I'm like, Rey Skywalker. I'm like, just own up to it. Like,
Yeah, that was really
be a
cheesy. I hated that.
Palpatine. Like, redeem, like, just fess up that you're a Palpatine, and like try to bring honor back to that name. Instead, oh no, I'm a Skywalker.
There's a
It's
lot
like,
of dumb stuff about that movie.
Now, do we blame Ryan Johnson for that, or do we
No,
blame
that's
Disney?
J.J. Abrams. So
That's J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson only did Last Jedi. That's the only thing.
So
he
what's
took for.
Disney's fault in all this then, do you think?
They-
Like,
it's just-
what point did Disney take over and say this is going to be the way that you have to take it?
Well, the thing that Disney is like, they just didn't have a vision, and they just told and they got J.J. Abrams, who didn't really have a clear vision either. That's the whole issue with the sequels in particular. I think Rogue One and Han Solo are pretty good. I love Solo.
I enjoyed
I
Solo.
did not like Solo.
I really liked Solo.
Rogue One
a lot.
was okay.
I thought Rogue One was pretty good. It added some context to A New Hope, and it's just like those two are good. It's a sequel trilogy. Like, they just didn't have a vision for that, and Disney just like, okay, we need to make movies because we haven't made them in a while, so let's go ahead and throw them out there. We bought Star Wars, let's do it.
When you get into something like this, some franchise that has a fandom like Star Wars does, or anything close to it, and you start just seeing all of the comments on the feeds and stuff, and what people want, and that you keep listening to what people want, and you try to give everyone what they want, it's gonna be a dumpster fire.
Oh yeah.
Just have a director that has a vision, that knows what he wants, that she wants to go, where they want to go, what they want to do with it, and let them create their thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a lot better, turnout probably doing that than trying to please everyone.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I completely agree with that. There's just the big issue, like, with the sequel trilogy is the fact that, like, J.J. Abrams said, he's like, yeah, I didn't know what I was really going to do for the story. Like, it's like, well, if you're going to do a sequel trilogy, like, you knew it was going to be a trilogy, you should at least write that out. And, like, at least I would understand, like, okay, they replaced him for the second one and then brought him back. Maybe he's like, okay, I tried to bring my story back into the last one with what I had to work with from what Ryan Johnson did. But no, he's just like, no, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I just kind of did.
He just tried to give people what they wanted, like, do the same thing that people loved, right?
Which is why I think Force Awakens is the best of the three, because it's so like safe. It plays it so safe and does a lot of the
Yeah.
same story beats as the
It was
original
entertaining.
trilogy.
It was fun.
Yes.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Do I think it was necessarily good? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he tried to just give people what they wanted. A little bit of the same, of the old school. The people fell in love with. So you got the rehashing the same cliches, an even bigger Death Star, the father-son battle on the bridge.
I thought that was
nobody
cool, though.
becoming, coming into her own,
Well-
finding the lightsaber type
Yeah.
thing. It
Yeah.
was all the same.
Oh, for sure.
I think the thing with
The rebels versus the big,
the
big
solo
bad.
thing with Ben and Han, well, I thought that was one of the best parts of the movie because you see Han be like, "Oh, like I understand my son has to do this to become who he needs to be," and so I'm like, he's basically like he's ready to sacrifice himself. Like he's like, just do it, and like you see that kind of with some of the dialogue in that scene. You see he doesn't directly say, "Yeah, just kill me and do what you need to do,"
Yeah.
but he's like. He looks at his son and he realizes there's conflict in him and he realizes that there's something there that needs to happen, and so he lets that. He's like, you got to do what you got to do, basically.
Now,
I don't
do
know
you,
if I
do you
saw
think
that,
he
though.
did that though because he realized that he doesn't actually need him because he's always been solo?
Moving on. I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I honestly saw it like the opposite way. Like he saw there was
Tim's
conflict,
threatening
like
to
you
mute
said, but he's like, okay, my son's still there. I'm going to get him. I don't know if I saw the whole,
I think
do what you have to do. I understand. I'm a sacrifice for you moving forward. I don't know if I saw that too much. I don't know. It's just a weird scene.
I think he starts off like that. I think he goes onto that bridge with that mentality, but then he just as he's talking to Ben, he like you can even see in how Adam Driver's portraying that character in that scene. He's very like shaky and just like doesn't really know what to do, and he's very lost. And then Han's like, what you have to do. Like, I know you're conflicted on this, but this is how you have to do this to become who you need to be.
And I saw it as, you're still my son. You will always be my son. Come with me. It's not too late.
Yeah. And I think there was still some of that in there, but I think
Because even when he was stabbed with the lightsaber, his face looked like shocked.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I bet probably deep down like he didn't want it. Like he knew what needed to happen, but he's like maybe.
We can speculate all we want,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. New trilogy cinematography was fantastic, but besides that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's incredibly iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Not that great.
See, and I love it. I think it is really good.
And like I say, I'm not a hater. I like
Yeah.
Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. You need to watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You're
I know
failing
I
yourself.
do. I know. Before
So
the
good.
Mandalorian, though, one thing I need to watch for sure is I still haven't seen. This is different, but Pirates of the Caribbean, because the Sea of Thieves update.
I saw that, but that's what makes you want to.
Well, no, like I need to
What?
watch that first. I need to make sure I watch those first, so I'm ready for that. That's where my
I don't
mindset
think
is.
so. I think you need to watch Mandalorian
Yeah,
right
you
now.
need to watch.
You really
Mandalorian.
do.
It's so good, dude.
I have things I need to watch before it.
No, you don't. just like you have lots of games you need to play, but you
Yep.
won't.
Well, it's not that I won't; it's that I haven't.
No, that you won't. You're a failure. I'm sorry.
Do you want to come hang
He's
out
not
someday and we
wrong.
can play through them?
Yeah,
We can make Let's Play videos for this channel or something.
maybe.
Okay, let's
played,
do it.
That'd be fun.
I just want you
Speaking
to
of Star
enjoy
Wars,
it,
you
not
played
make it a
Fallen Order?
job.
Okay, so
I'm
should we move
sorry.
on to the next topic then?
Yeah, let's do
Because
it.
this has been a 30-minute conversation. So
Hey, it's a good discussion.
Oh,
it's
it's
wild.
been great.
Yeah, it's good, and
It's
I
been
could
great,
go
but
on.
just for-
I could do a whole. I could do my own whole
we've
podcast
touched
about.
You could
Star
go
Wars.
just the
hours.
surface.
Oh,
Yeah.
it goes super deep.
All I say is, look at the extended universe. That's
Yeah.
where
Maybe that's
where it really
maybe that's
shines.
another show for the channel. Just you
Yep.
two talking about
I
Star
legit
Wars.
I could do an own
Maybe.
show about just Star Wars talking, but
Totally could.
All right.
yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
fun.
Let's move on.
all
Moving
right.
on.
So next topic then, Weston. Do you want to go next?
Sure. Mine is kind of in the same general line as it's going to revolve around entertainment and movies. So
Okay.
mine's actually going to be based on the fact that it was recently announced that they're doing an anime movie for Lord of the Rings. This is going to be actually based back in the time of Helm Hammerhand and how Helm's Deep got its name and reputation as the impregnable fortress. So,
Going from one franchise to the next.
pretty much.
And I've never seen it.
Ooh.
Yeah, because you are a failure.
Why are you here?
You are a
Yeah.
failure, Jordan. You know what? Just go. Go watch.
Crawl
a few
under the
things.
table like a little boy and get out of here.
Well, promise he's not little.
Yeah, no, he's huge. Huge media. Bye, Jordan.
Bye.
See you later,
Bye.
man.
All
Hide in
right.
the
So
corner.
now that we have actual elbow room here,
We're actually uncalled for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uncalled
it's true.
for.
Come back, Jordan. You're fine.
For the time, we'll let you come back.
You can go back.
Yes,
But-
he's back. He's back.
So,
the fan.
Yeah, don't
as-
get the fan.
I see when I kicked it.
welcome
Is
back.
this a movie or a series?
It's going to be a movie for the anime.
Really? I didn't
Now,
hear that part.
Amazon is also developing a live-action
I
series.
knew that part, yeah.
So, and that will be based. Speculation had it that it'll be based right before the Fellowship. However, due to rights, I'm guessing it's probably going to be either from the first or second age, rather than from the third age,
Yeah.
which is where the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings takes place.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things I want to discuss was your thoughts on it, and also what type of actual storylines you feel like they could actually take for that, or for those,
I don't
because
have much to chime in because I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but I do think it's funny that we go from Star Wars to you guys saying how it's kind of overrated. I personally think Lord of the Rings is overrated.
That's why we just don't listen to you, Logan.
that's why you
But
that's why you're
I
on the couch and we're over here.
I will say
Why
I think
am I here?
I
because
think
you
the reason
suck
I
and we need
feel
you
that
to
way
balance
Sure.
out the table.
Keep going.
is because a lot of it is I watched those when I was little and they're so long movies, and for as a
Yeah.
kid like I couldn't get into them, and I just haven't really gone back to sit
I think
down
you need to
and
go
watch
back,
them.
though,
And
give
I,
it
and
another
I,
try.
I do need to do that at some point,
Mm-hmm.
but because like I've loved like I don't know if you guys played the games, Shadows of Mordor, and then
Mhm.
Good, sure.
what's the other one? They're great. They're really fun to play. I love the world of that.
Sure.
Those games. So I do need to give it a try, but from my stance now, I do think it is overrated.
That's
but-
understandable.
Mhm.
I think, like, if you want to look at the lore, something that's really cared about, and then actually has a vision, like you're saying, you look at Tolkien, who I think had the most care of maybe any kind of franchise like this that we talk about. Yeah, get your draw on, boy.
Get your drawn boy.
But it's so deep and rich. Like he put so much effort into it, way more than George Lucas, I would say.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like it's really fascinating. It's just, is that your cup of tea? You know,
Yeah.
the whole fantastic over science fiction thing.
Mhm.
But you were saying, Weston, this is your topic. Go ahead.
But yeah, like speaking of how in depth one, if who here has actually read the Silmarillion?
Please
A
don't.
very long time
Please
ago.
don't.
Okay, first off, if you haven't, I don't blame you. It is a very long, very dry read.
Maybe a
okay?
chapter. Just go to Wikipedia, man.
I made it through over a very long period of time. Okay, I could not even read it straight, and that's one from me who reads textbooks.
Oh, well,
Okay. So, like, it is pretty much the lore book for that universe.
Yep.
So,
Gotcha.
lots of information in there, lots and lots of lore. I mean, we cover thousands of years worth of lore.
Dang.
And I mean, it is detailed. Like, you get specific names, like,
Dry.
it's pretty much the Bible of that universe. Okay, like
Interesting.
it goes into the creation of everything and like
Political
how
laws.
and like how
Crazy.
Morgoth
Yeah, yeah.
comes in and actually messes things up and actually causes strife within the peoples, and about how they go to war and how the Silmarils get scattered
That whole part was cool with the Valor or whatever,
with the Valar.
Valar, yeah, that one.
So yeah, that was a lot of really cool stuff, and it goes into the history of like Elrond's father and how he was a half elf and whatnot. I don't want to spoil too much, but
No one's reading that, Weston.
you're probably correct. Nobody is reading that, and if you do, you have my sympathy and you have my understanding for how long it takes you
And
to
I'm
actually read through
impressed.
that,
Yeah.
Like,
and my respect
kudos
as well.
to you.
Like seriously, but a lot of the stuff in there is like it's
do need
really
crayons,
cool.
Jordan.
It is really cool. What are you doing?
What is
That is pretty sad, man.
I'm drawing.
Is that what you call that? All right. So,
Moving on.
Anyway, back to the topic.
but so the way I see it, I know that the anime movie is supposed to be based on Helm Hammerhand and his time with Helm's Deep. That one is set. We've already got that clarified. Okay. As to exactly when that's going to be, I don't know. That actually, Helm Hammerhand lived from 2691 to 2759 in the Third Age, which the Third Age lasted for 41 years, so 3,441. So a very long age.
You said this is one movie, right?
Yes, it's one movie.
So you're not going to get that much.
No,
There's
no,
not
that's
a
what I'm
whole
saying,
lot
like,
that
it
he's
could-
going
there's
to
a
do.
bunch-
Unless
be
you're
in
gonna
it.
have like a 12-hour
But
movie.
What
the
is like
time
the-
in Helm's Deep was actually
Right.
from 3758, I think. My memory serves correct.
What is like the... Just ignore Jordan. He's a child. It's
I
okay.
know. I'm gonna go in the closet.
So
What's the, like,
2758, yeah.
the
59.
quintessential Helm Hammerhand, like,
Well,
noteworthy parts of his life? That's
It
what
was
it's going to be
actually-
about,
yeah.
you know?
yeah, but it was actually at that point, after he had just been defeated by something that starts with a D. Like, it's been so long since I read the Silmarillion, I can't remember the exact name of this group. He was forced into a retreat. Edoras had been lost, and so they retreated to what was then, it was called something, it was like Hall Goroth or something. Like, it was just a mountain pass. It didn't have a proper name of Helm's Deep until after the siege, when he finally defeated the armies and then left forth and reconquered Edoras. So that's what I feel it's going to be about. So I'm not very curious about that one. I have a pretty good idea of what's going to be covered. What I'm really curious about is what you guys think is going to happen with the Amazon series. The live action
There's some
one is gonna be
controversy there right
continuous.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually seen some of that controversy. Like,
You see, originally we heard that it was supposed to be leading up to the Lord of the Rings as a prequel to it, but
well, like
then they released maps and it showed Numenor. So it's like that didn't it stopped existing after the Second Age.
Wasn't
now
the... Go ahead, Logan.
I got a question about that. So you say it's supposed to be before then. Isn't that The Hobbit, though? Or is that before The Hobbit?
It would be between them, is what I kind of
Oh,
understood.
between them, okay.
Because you have to realize that was like 60 years in between or something like
I
that.
guess, yeah, that's Frodo's dad, right? That's his
Well,
his
Uncle.
uncle. Yeah.
So
No, I thought originally it was about Aragorn and his time in the Rangers. That's what I
Which-
thought originally it was.
it could be something about that, but even then, if you go back, like they showed a map of what they were working with, and it had Numenor. Numenor stopped existing at the end of the Second Age, so Numenor would not be on the maps.
No.
Which Numenor was key and central in maps in the old days because you were only allowed to sail as far west as you could see Numenor. If you could no longer see the Isle of Numenor, you had to stop sailing, otherwise you were getting too close to the Undying Lands, which is the land of the Valar. So
That's the cool stuff.
that's really cool stuff right there. So it was very key, but
Weston.
that map.
It could have just been an old map.
But you see, the thing is that no map in the Third Age was made that kept Numenor on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the fact that they have maps with that on there means one of two things. Either one, they're trying to find Numenor and reclaim the Sunken Isle, which was intentionally sunk because the kings fell to the allure of Sauron, and one of their kings eventually became one of their ring wraiths, if my memory serves correct. Or it takes place towards the fall of Numenor, and it's about how the Rangers, or the Dunedain, came forth from that, which would then lead into
That would make
Aragorn.
more sense, I would think.
And that's
Yeah.
how I'm feeling it's probably going to be. And it could be right there at the turn of the age.
Okay.
It's kind of how I'm envisioning it, but I can't guarantee that either. There's so many ways they could take this, because they have the entire First and Second Age to work with. Then again, if you really have what I really want them to cover, that'd be stuff more about the Dagor Dagoroth. That'd be a fun movie to see, or series. But that's something completely different.
Now that's the show, the live action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
And then
Amazon
the
series.
movie
Is the animated one.
Is anime or is
It's
it like
anime.
animation?
It's supposed to be anime.
Anime.
That's sick. I love anime.
Which is going to
Right.
be very interesting
Join the club, friend.
to see.
Join the club.
But one thing I really want to see in the live action series is I want to see more Tom Bombadil.
I feel like they're not going to even touch
I know
it.
they won't touch him because he's such a mysterious figure.
Good job, John.
Like, there's so little that's known about him. Pretty much the only thing you get is the fact that he was the first life form on the planet, even before plants and animals and everything else.
Yep.
He was there. When the first gods came to the land that became Middle Earth, he was there. He is... They say that nobody knows when he started existing, and he has existed through to the present. So, ancient. But he is so old and so powerful, he just doesn't interfere with anything that's going on in the
He
world.
has zero care.
He really has zero care. and the only other thing we know about him is that he had 3 other names besides Tom Bombadil. And that's Yarwain Ben Adar, which are what the elves called him, Forn, which is what the dwarves called him, and Orald, which is what the humans called him. That's the only other thing we really know about it. And I would love to see more.
Like, he's a really cool character, obviously, but he wouldn't add anything development to the story-wise. He would just be there.
To an extent.
You know,
but
he's not going to push it forward. He's what's all he did to help. He gave
As of the second age is when he truly stopped interacting with anything.
Yeah.
In the first age, he actually did have some interaction. Not much.
Not much.
But he did actually interact in the first stage. Not much. But and that was also due to the fact that others interacted with him and kind of forced him into it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm saying it.
But if they cover into that, it's actually really cool what he does do during that time. I don't want to spoil that for those who want to read. So I won't mention that. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff that could be in there. How much of the lore do you guys actually know?
I don't really know all that much.
Probably not as much as you.
Yeah, I read. Like I said, I read that a long time ago. Like, it was high school for me, like early high school. And that was probably the last time I touched anything that had to do with Lord of the Rings, aside from watching the movies. But
Which is, honestly, this is kind of controversial, I guess. I think that's one of the rare franchises that the movies are better than the books. Obviously, they left stuff out.
That's debatable. They've left a few things out, but I think of the movies that have been based on books, I think Lord of the Rings is probably the best.
Yeah, I mean,
if there was ever a series where I'd say, if you watch the movie, you've probably done enough.
Yeah,
it's probably that one.
You've got
the only other thing you're getting in the book is way more detail about everything. Yeah. The movies cover everything important.
Sure.
Except the dance with Tom Bombadil. But
yeah,
I laugh at that
for good
one.
reason. But
with good reason. Nothing happens of it.
I read the books, but like I said, I enjoy the movies more. I think you find this with Tolkien sometimes, quite a bit actually, a lot of the detail, which is great. I mean, it shows his care. It's superfluous. You don't need it. Mm-hmm. Silmarillion, you don't need all that.
No.
But it's really cool. It is really cool. If you actually
I'd like to see it presented in a different format.
Which I think a series like this would be a perfect way to present a lot of that information.
True.
Like the battle against Ancalagon. Oh, that's such a cool fight. Such a cool fight.
Couldn't
and
tell
like
you
the
what that
story
is,
of
Wesley.
Turin. Oh, sorry. Ancalagon was the great black dragon, the greatest and mightiest of them all, who served Morgoth. He was actually one of those that fought in the Great War of Wrath.
Okay.
So lots of. He was a big bad, had to be killed in order to end the first
Makes
stage.
sense. Makes sense.
Him and the sealing of Morgoth.
All I care about, like I told you before, is the whole lore with the Balrogs.
The Balrogs.
Because they're really cool.
They are.
So, as a not huge fan looking in and
Sure.
needing to rewatch the movies,
Definitely
we can even
rewatch.
go back. Like at some point, we probably could have a whole topic about this. Do you think it would be worth it to watch how it came out, like the original, like the Lord of the Rings, and then the Hobbit, or should you watch it in like the chronological order?
You could just skip the Hobbit entirely.
I agree with Dan.
Really?
The Hobbit sucked.
Yeah.
That one, actually read the book. That one,
You
the
could
book
just read
was
the book,
way
yeah, if
better.
you wanted.
Gotcha.
And you would get way better
I mean,
understanding of
for
everything.
pure
but-
entertainment value, the first Hobbit and the second Hobbit, I'd say, are okay movies. They don't really follow all that much.
No, and the third one didn't
The
happen.
third one, don't watch. It's terrible.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
you have
Is
to
that
realize
the-
pretty
is
much
that
the
Smaug?
entire movie.
No, that's Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah,
Oh.
that
Smaug
entire
is the second one.
Gotcha.
the Battle of Five Armies takes place in a period of time when Bilbo Baggins was actually unconscious, and it skips over most of it in the book.
They
So-
literally just created a whole new story, pretty much.
Gotcha.
They filled in a whole lot of empty space.
Gotcha.
But just watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. They're fantastic movies.
Yep.
They are.
Really,
and if
really
you ever
are.
want to, let me know. We can we can sit down, claim a day, and watch the extended versions.
All
It
right.
might take more than a day, Wes.
I'll say, aren't they like 3 hours long without the extended version?
Hey, I told you. We can sit down and we can do this.
Hey, and I'll be
you just
back.
gotta give me an
I'll
advance.
be back in like a month.
Just give me
so-
advance notice.
Dang right.
We'll do this. But I don't know. I love the extent. Like
Yep.
Same with Star Wars. Actually, I prefer the extended universe over the movies in Star Wars. In Lord of the Rings, I think both are just phenomenal.
They are. Yeah.
I think when it comes to actual pure movie value, Lord of the Rings did it right.
Yep.
Whereas I think Star Wars failed, but in both of them, the extended universe is phenomenal.
It's really
but
good,
I
yeah.
think that Star Wars does the extended universe better in presentation than what Lord of the Rings does. Because Lord of the Rings is just really dry in the presentation with
Yep.
the Silmarillion and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are other books out there, but I feel like that's kind of the trade-off that you have between the two series, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So definitely at least watch Lord of the Rings, okay? You will not regret that if you sit down and actually watch it and pay attention to it.
Yep.
I think it's one of the best trilogies ever.
I think he's coming
Never
back,
made.
you guys.
Or are we actually going to get him back? Has he finished his masterpiece?
Jordan
It looks pretty
finally
good.
come out of the closet.
I sent it to Logan on Snapchat.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, let me see this.
It's Dan.
Well, that's not very nice.
That's kind of an insult.
Why does he look like
Ralph.
Morty from Rick and Morty?
He really does. Let me know if I'm getting
very
that on
nice.
camera there.
I guess it's okay. I drew you.
There you go.
I was wondering if you noticed that up there.
Yes.
Alright, we're back to huge media again.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, you
I
know
thought
what?
It was beautiful.
Because I'm one of the few people who actually don't know this, I'm probably going to cut this short here and end this here, and that'll help balance us back out for time anyway.
Yeah.
But seriously, for those of you out there, if you ever want to like chat Lord of the Rings, come talk to me, or just chat with me or something like that. That's where I'm really going to have it.
Well, you should get a.
I mean, yeah.
You should get a Twitter so people
There you
can
go.
actually
There
tweet
you
you.
go. There you go.
Terrible joke, bad pun.
And while we're waiting for them to read
Poor
that,
Hank.
that also goes for me too. I love talking Star Wars, so if anybody wants to talk about Star Wars, I actually do have a Twitter, at CobaltBlue1861. You can hit me up on
My
Twitter.
least favorite color.
So.
Oh, but no, I actually do have a Twitter. I don't really check it very often, but that's
you
the
do?
yeah, the Dragon campaigns. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the same as.
Same as my username here.
Oh. Okay.
So
He
if
just
you,
doesn't-
if you
doesn't-
want to hit me up on there, go ahead. I'll gladly chat the lore with you. So
I have a Twitter now. Apparently,
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan
it
has
has a
Twitter.
Yoda picture that's terrible.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
That's about it.
It's actually that Yoda picture.
Yeah.
What's
that
your
one up there.
username?
Same as everywhere
Duh.
else.
Same as
Yeah.
all this. I wanted to make sure. like,
Steve the
clarify
Pirate.
for- Okay.
Lots
Really
of
good
threes.
at
For their
dodgeball.
sake, I wanted
Lots
to
of
clarify
threes,
that.
not a lot of E's.
Yeah. All right, so what's
Same
up
amount,
next?
actually.
So yeah, I'll call it there for mine.
Jordan,
Let's
you wanna
move
go
forward.
next?
You can go next.
Okay.
Yeah, I say we
I'll
should
go
go
next.
Jordan's.
We should leave Jordan's for last, actually. So, one of the main topic I wanted to cover was actually something that I hate saying this, but
Why do you hate
I
it, John?
think because I am a
Die-hard PlayStation.
diehard like OG PlayStation player,
Mhm.
but looking at what Xbox came out with, especially over E3, in the long run financially, the Xbox is the better console.
Oh, 100%.
And it pains me to say that. But, I mean, just looking at the numbers, so with Xbox Games Pass, it's the base is $10 a month, right? So, let's say you want to play. The article I have here says 12 Xbox Series X first-party games over the next 3 years. All of those games are going to be on Games Pass, as well as so many other titles and old titles. So for 3 years, that's $360, just base, right? So assuming Sony, which they've announced that most of their next gen stuff is going to be $70 a game to start at least, you're going to be paying $840 to play the same amount of games over the same amount of time. So that's the difference in price. There is pretty much the cost of an Xbox that you're saving by just having an Xbox and getting the Games Pass. And if you extend that over time, so over the average lifespan of a console, so if you double it, so for 6 years of games for the Games Pass would be $720, and the same amount is for Sony would be this has $1,680. So you save almost $1,000 in just that. And even if you do the Games Pass Ultimate, which gives you like the access to like the PC Games Pass stuff as well.
That's $15 a month.
It's $15 a month. That's even over that 6 years. It's still only $1,080, which is still $600 less than purchasing all of those PlayStation games.
Yeah.
Plus other games that you may not play, but something that might catch your eye. Because I know one of the things that I do a lot, and I know Jordan has this, where he has his Steam library of how many games right now?
612.
And one day one of those might catch your eye that you might not have bought like on your own.
I get a lot through Humble Bundle. I get
Yeah.
12 games a month through that. So I.
And so, and it's not to say that Sony is in a bad spot with it. You know, they've said, and we'll see what happens when they come out with their event or whatever they're gonna do for announcing things. But they've said that they're gonna try and revamp like the PlayStation Plus. And is PlayStation Now still a thing?
It's still a thing.
They
but
have shut
they-
it down. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I thought
It's
they
still a
did it.
thing, but they're
Yeah.
pretty sure they're done with it.
Are they?
I
I
think
guess I haven't
so.
heard that. I thought they were adding like PlayStation 4 games
Let
onto
me
it.
see here.
I don't know. I
Well,
could be wrong, but
it
I
says,
thought they were done with it.
I mean,
but-
in the article that I was reading, it says that they want to continue the PlayStation Now stuff, but
maybe they're just revamping it or something.
maybe.
But I don't know.
But it's like,
I see your points,
yeah.
but it's just a thing.
At the same
I
time,
wouldn't use Game Pass.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I'm in the minority on that.
Yeah.
But when I like to just get a game that I want that I've been waiting
Yeah.
for a long time. That's it.
Yeah.
Get it. I can use it whenever I want. I don't have to pay a subscription. It's just a one-time fee.
Yeah.
I have it forever.
Mhm.
Well, that's another argument though. Is if you buy it digitally, do you really have it forever? Because they could take that
I like
away
having
at
the
any
disc,
point.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Same here.
I prefer
most
the
of
disc
it's
as well.
most of it's
but
digital nowadays anyway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That's why I bring that up. Like
it's
I
you know
think-
either or for me right now. But
Yeah.
I think one of the Game Pass advantages is I've started to just learn how to love Game Pass as of late since I built my PC, is the fact that like you get to try out games you might not have played.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
would you have
'Cause-
played Forza Horizon
No,
4 at all?
I
if
I
it
would
weren't
have
for
always
Game
probably
Pass?
wanted to, but I wanted to drop money down on it.
Yeah.
But
see,
that
I still wouldn't play it even if I had games.
and
Pass,
like
but-
you have so many opportunities
Yeah.
now with Games Pass, as they just announced. Halo's Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free to play on Games Pass and stuff.
Well, even the campaign I think is day one Game Pass.
Yeah,
so
which
They-
doesn't
yeah.
make
Makes-
any sense to
No,
me.
if it's on Game Pass, you're having to pay for Game Pass, so it's not really free to play, is it?
Well, it's the
the
multiplayer is free to play,
multiplayer.
but the whole game is
Yeah.
going to be on Games Pass day one. So you get both the campaign and the multiplayer.
See, I would just buy Halo Infinite and have
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
But like for somebody who maybe hasn't played Halo in a while or who's never
Sure.
played Halo, they're like, okay, I see this game, but it's $70. Maybe I don't really want to drop money on it, but it's opening the games up to more people.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Sea of Thieves, for instance.
Yes, Sea of
there was a
Thieves.
buddy of mine that he would watch me stream Sea of Thieves, and he's like, I kept telling him, you have to get it. Just try it. If you don't like it, like it's on sale. It's $15. Whatever. But then it went up to normal price or whatever. I forget what it's at on Steam right now. Like maybe $40 for
Yeah.
a normal price game. But with Game Pass, he was able to pay $15. And he could try that out, and he ended up loving it. He ended up trying out
Sure.
a few other games. Like I think. Isn't Doom Eternal on there? Or they just announced it's going to be on
Doom
there?
Eternal's on there.
Yep.
'Cause I've been
Um,
playing that.
And I know they just announced a ton of games yesterday from Bethesda. They're going back and adding on to Game Pass
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they acquired them, so
yeah,
why
so
not?
so they're gonna add. I know Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, which I know they're not winners by any means, but Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, like all these games are going back and they're adding them to Game Pass. So I mean, for $15 a month, being able to get access to literally hundreds of games,
See, I already,
thousands
I already
of
have
games.
those games.
See,
Yeah.
that's true. Like if you have them, then it's not really
I don't know.
a good thing. But the
yeah.
way I see it, is you buy 4 games a year, and you pay $70.
Possibly.
You pay $70 a piece on PlayStation, or even when it was 60. Like let's just for
Yeah.
easy math, we'll say, you buy 4 games a year, or I mean, okay,
Easy
one
math.
game a year. Well, yeah, I was thinking backwards here. 1 game a year, that's 4 months of Game Pass,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, after that, you can afford to buy, significantly more, I guess. Even though you don't own it, you can still play it as long as you keep your subscription active.
Yeah.
It's
Which-
just whether you make the use out of it or
Yeah,
not.
that's the thing.
See, I wouldn't make the use out of
Yeah.
Games Pass. A
Yeah.
lot of those games I don't have a particular interest in playing.
Yeah.
If I did, I would have bought them.
I think
But-
another thing with Games Pass, at least with the EA Play side of things too, where you can have that.
Yeah.
Is
That's
the fact
true.
that
I
all the
forgot about
sports
that.
games,
Yep.
I don't like.
Garbage.
For me now, I don't like buying I haven't bought an NFL or Madden
Yeah.
or 2K in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm more encouraged to play those now because I don't have to put $60 on a game that's going to last a year.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Sure.
I haven't picked up a new Madden title since Madden 17,
Maybe
or
I'm
even
gonna play
earlier than that.
the only reason
But-
why I'm even gonna play the
2K6.
next Madden is because of Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
You
Tim
know,
Tebow.
I haven't picked up any of the sports games since never.
Ever.
I was
Yeah.
thinking,
Weston's
yeah.
I
a sports
prefer
game player.
good games.
But, like,
For
that's-
actual
But see,
games.
the
I
thing is,
enjoy sports games.
a lot of the issues with the games now is like they're just years and like they're microtransactions. If you just get
Yeah, that's
Games
all it is.
Pass, you get to just play that game how
Mhm.
you play,
And you still pay
and
all
then you
the
don't have to
microtransactions.
pay 60.
Yeah.
Well, you don't. That's
It's
the-
like Call of Duty.
That's
You don't
just
have to do-
specific to the game. That's not
Yeah.
expense, yeah.
But like you get to enjoy that game a little bit, without putting a $60 price tag on it,
Yeah.
and you get that year of that
Sure.
game, and then you get the next one comes out because they drop pretty close to release
And
date.
you can even I don't know how long it goes on, but like right now, and it's been for a while. They've had the first month of Games Pass or whatever for $1.
Yeah, you can get the first 3 months for
Three
Yes.
months for
Yep.
$1.
Yeah.
Don't let him fool you, PK. Weston is so athletic.
He is very.
He's like the MVP of our
Yes, he is.
volleyball team.
But
Lies, deception.
and so you could even
He
even
wrecks
say
in dodgeball too.
depending on what
Don't
comes
believe
out
it.
with that, you can still like try a game and be like, like he was saying earlier, I don't know if I want to play this. Spend $1, try it out. If you really like it, hey, you can go drop the money on it if you want.
Yeah.
That's kind of another thing that you can use
It
it
comes
for.
down to how much you're going to use it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
person by person basis.
Yep.
For me, it specifically comes down to what kind of games that I'm looking forward to or I'm really into,
Yeah.
you know? And that's not on that's not on Microsoft Xbox. That's on
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah.
It usually comes out with the
better-
really good, usually single player narrative games,
Yes.
which is what I'm into
I'd
for the
agree with
most
that.
part.
100% agree with that.
And Xbox really they've really in the last like decade they've really gone like multiplayer stuff for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
You know, that's been their focus because that makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially with all the microtransactions and everything. So Microsoft has Halo, which is, near and dear to my heart.
Yep.
And I would probably get an Xbox just for Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
But
Or a PC.
there's not much more. No. No. I'm a console guy. Sorry. I don't have my own house right now, so no PC.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Xbox doesn't have the allure of
Yeah.
games
Yeah.
that it
No,
used
I'd
to.
agree. I'd agree, especially now with Sony's got, Spider-Man, The Last of
Fantastic
Us. I mean, I haven't played
God
Last of
of
Us
War.
2, God of War,
Horizon.
Horizon. Like they have
Yeah.
a ton of good.
So
games.
many good single player games for the most part.
And I do
you know?
think Xbox is lacking that, but I think
That's why they acquired Bethesda.
I do, yeah,
Because they
but I do
can't do
think we
anything
will see over
themselves.
time now. Xbox kind of take that, at least even the playing field in that end, because we know they announced that Starfield's going to be Xbox exclusive. We know that they have 23 studios now that they own that they make games with. Like, I think we could see that switch to at least even out. But I think Xbox is moving in a completely different direction. I think we see these studios, both Sony and Microsoft, going away from just the console wars that we knew to a more they're distinguishing themselves from the pack.
Well, they're going to have to do better with these new IPs than what they did with Fable. That was a joke.
See, I haven't
And you
played
see,
the new
Fable
like-
is near and dear to my
Well, they're
heart.
bringing-
That's a hurt
Fable
for
back.
Weston.
I know, but you see how they flopped up with like Fable 3?
I've not played Fable. I
You
just
see
know they're-
exactly.
they
You do
announced
not
they
know
were-
the pain of what Microsoft has done to us.
I've heard nothing but
Okay.
just horrific things about Fable 3. I loved 1 and 2.
They were
And
okay.
they were so
one,
good.
phenomenal. 2, excellent until you beat the big bad. That was the most anticlimactic villain I have ever defeated. 3 just sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, just downright sucked.
Yeah. But I also think another thing to add on like the lure of Games Pass is the fact that it can give games that kind of got a bad rap at first some new light. Example of that, like Fallout 76. Like, obviously that game launched terribly, and it's still not great. But I'm more likely to go play it on Games Pass because it's on there now, and I'll just go
Did
give
you
it a
not have to
shot.
put extra stuff in
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Yeah.
And like another one, I don't know if No Man's Sky is on it,
I don't
it is.
think it is.
I don't think so.
I
I don't
Is that
think so
on-
because that was really funded by
Is that
Sony.
on Xbox at all?
Is it?
It's on Xbox now. It was delayed because it came
I know
on.
it's on
It came on a
some-
PC
on
and
PlayStation.
PlayStation first. Because I actually have it on Steam and it's a
Yeah.
fun game.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. So I mean, say that gets put on Games Pass at some point. That game has become night and day from when it launched as.
So Xbox Games Pass Ultimate has No Man's Sky.
Oh, so yeah.
so
Then
that
you
must
ha-
be a new edition then.
Must
yeah,
be.
Okay.
I thought I saw it last time I looked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you give that game an extra, some more life that it never had because it launched kind of really crappy, and everybody can agree with that. But now,
Yeah.
like, I've not played it yet, but I do want to play it at some point because I've seen that they've added a ton to it to make it a really good game.
Yep.
Sure.
They've really changed that entire game.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's one of those games I do want to get back into. I've always said I think it'd be kind of fun, and maybe it's something that we could do. If we all get it at some point, because it'd all have to be on the same platform though. 'Cause I don't think it's cross-play at all. But I think it'd be super super fun to at some point maybe even do a video series where we all play it, but we all are because we join up on each other and we just build up on a planet, and we can let these guys maybe come in and take part on the planet with us. And
That'd be cool.
it's one of those things where if
I'd be
you, I think if you do it
I'd be down
right,
for this.
it could be super fun. Like we could
Yeah.
have a huge community planet. It could just be called like the huge planet, or like the huge solar system, right? And we can have, if we find one that has 4 or 5 planets in it, we can have the Jordan planet, the Tim planet, the Dan planet. Like we can get like different stuff like that just there. And
Tim
people,
got
But we
really
need to
excited
figure
when
out
he said
what
that.
system we're doing this all
Yeah.
on.
Well, yeah, and see, it would probably have to be either PlayStation or PC, which is, I think we all have PlayStations
I'm still stuck on the
Except-
PS3. Thank
except
you.
for Weston. And Logan's gonna try a piece of Carolina Reaper beef jerky over here, I think.
Maybe. I'm kind of hungry. I haven't eaten all day.
So he's
So that is
Probably
what
not the
you
best
choose.
choice.
Camera on.
camera on, Logan.
How bad is it?
Camera. It's not bad.
Not bad.
Camera on though.
Okay.
You guys can watch that while we.
It's one of those things though. I think that we definitely should look into at some point. We can talk about it more off.
I'm
camera,
down for lots of
obviously.
that cool stuff. It's
just
just
did it.
organizing it and putting it together.
You just ate one.
Yeah, it's not
There you go.
terrible.
It's pretty good stuff.
I've had way worse.
Also, another quick thing I wanted to talk on with E3, the announcement of Diablo 2.
Oh, the
The
remaster.
remaster.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it. Diablo 2 is a really fun game, and I'm hoping they do it right.
I'm
Oh,
regretting
that's
that.
beloved for sure.
I should not.
What do you
have
think
done
about the?
Oh, let me turn my camera
new
back
one?
on. Oh,
I don't
It's
know.
best because he's still.
I really don't.
His sound is still on.
Just want to say it had one of the coolest cinematic trailers ever when it was
Yeah.
released, though. We'll just leave it there. But
Also,
Who
what
knows
was, the
about
other,
the
what was the other
gameplay?
one?
it's not like that bad. But Definitely
Age of
good.
Empires?
Yeah, I love Age of Empires, so I'm kind of
I
excited
haven't
for
played Age
that.
in a long time.
I haven't either.
I play
miss
as long
it.
as I have other players to play with. I do
Hey.
not play Age
Against.
solo.
Hey, I'll play with you. That'd be fun. I have it.
Hey.
You're probably gonna completely annihilate me.
I still
'Cause you're a lot
remember.
more-
Depends on which
strategic,
civilization I
Yeah.
choose.
I
There are some that I dominate with, and some that I just need to practice.
I
with.
still remember late nights playing it with people.
That'd be a lot of fun to do for sure.
Yeah.
That could be another thing.
I
we
remember
could
the
do.
days
I don't
like
know.
Tommy
been a
and
huge
Sam and
RTS
Ben and
guy,
Liz and
like-
Carrie.
All in one room on laptops.
Well,
just,
Yeah.
at least multiplayer RTS
Just-
I've been a huge
Mhm.
fan of, but
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, but
I'd have to get into it. But.
yeah, for sure.
I'm good now.
How you doing, Logan?
It hit a little bit more than I thought it would, but it's not that bad. It's definitely not as hot as like B-Dub's hottest wings.
No.
Otherwise, if you really want food, there's still one slice of pizza from last night in the refrigerator out there.
That's tempting. I'll probably scrap it after this.
And Tim's gone.
But no, so yeah, like I really think that Game Pass is definitely. I would say
On paper, financially, it makes more
financially,
sense.
yes, it's better. But I would go with hardware and quality of games.
Yep.
I would say no. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would say it just depends on the person.
Yeah,
it
and
really
I also
does.
think, like
Are you
I
going to
said
get your worth
earlier,
out of it, or are you not?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, jeez. Like I said earlier, like that's kind of like not what Xbox is focused on right now. They're focused more on the how many people can we get to play our games and how easily can we do that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I do think I've
so
seen a
than
lot about this, that the fact that
quality of game.
I would not be surprised if we see some like type of Fire Stick for Games Pass.
They already announced
Yeah,
that.
Did they?
cloud.
That's actually a thing that they're going to do, where they're going to be
Yeah,
streaming.
exactly.
Yeah.
Microsoft is more about accessibility and getting people on their platform and in their ecosystem, rather than
Oh, I understand
putting
that.
out consoles and putting out, first.
But what gets
use
people
first-party
on your
games.
ecosystem and your community?
Yeah.
Games.
Apparently,
Which is why-
apparently they think mini fridges.
Hey,
Are they full?
I will probably get that mini fridge, to be fair.
Are they full? And
I don't
with
know.
what? That is the real
That
question.
is the question.
G Fuel.
G Fuel.
No, they
no,
definitely
not worth it.
They, I always remember when they announced the new Xbox that they shipped out there's like maybe 20 or 30 full size refrigerators.
Yes, I know a couple YouTubers again.
That were styled after that. Like you would open it and it would play the
Xbox Power.
Xbox Power on sound, and the lights were green inside, and
Yeah, it was just a gimmick.
it's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick, but it's
Yeah,
kind of
just a fun thing,
no,
you know,
it's fun. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
like the KFC console.
Yes.
Hey,
I want the KFC
that has
console.
a chicken warmer that's perfect
It
for
does.
wings, and I am on board.
Like I said, a gimmick. It's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the
So,
gimmick stuff was
Is there
fun.
anything else you want to talk about with this? Because we are getting
Not really.
short on time at some point here. We got to move on.
I'm
so.
excited for Nintendo tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
This
So
is
speaking
good.
of the Nintendo thing, if you're watching this live, tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.
We'll be live
Central
reacting.
Time, which it's 8 p.m. for us right now. So if you're watching live, figure that out. Logan, myself, and our friend Zach, who has not made an appearance on this channel yet, will all be here, and we will be doing pre-show predictions for 30 minutes, and then we're going to do live reaction to Nintendo show, and then we're going to do probably a half hour of just thoughts of what they did, if we liked it or not, and talk about different things about that.
and
So
just be ready, because I am a huge Nintendo fan, and I'm probably gonna be cheering and hyped, because there's rumored some big stuff in this direct.
yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'll be working
I will be working as well.
I will be
at
packing.
a day job.
Yeah. Some of us actually have, work.
Hey, I do too, but I'm off this week, so
Well, it's because you're up in Iowa when your job is in Georgia. I'd hope you're off.
yeah.
For now.
If not, that's a problem. So, anyways, we can, if you want, and we can move on.
Yeah, move on.
to
Last
the
final
next
topic.
topic.
Don't forget to
Insane
what
topic.
time was this going to be tomorrow?
10:30 a.m. is when we're gonna go live.
Okay, I want you to make
Central
sure that's
time.
clear.
Yeah.
So 14 hours.
I know
It'd be-
someone in
14
chat
and a
had
half.
asked that. So.
Yeah, it'd be like 14 and a half hours from now. We'll be live on this channel
That's
again.
next
So,
day.
just make sure you get the notifications on, and we'll be here. So my topic is gonna take us off the rails, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Not like
And-
we haven't been there before.
He told me
That's,
yesterday.
that's true. So what? One of my all-time favorite stand-up comedians, he did a whole thing where he talked about how a guy from Florida robbed a Wendy's with an alligator, or if he robbed a Wendy's with an alligator, that's up for debate still. But anyways,
Revolutionary.
it's way ahead of our time. But anyways, it got me thinking, and we've talked about this on the live stream a little bit, and it definitely was a conversation starter, and I want to know what you guys think. If you were to step that up and not just rob a Wendy's, what would you do with animals to take over an entire town or city?
Emus.
Yes, the Great Emu War.
We already got Australia, boys.
Yes. Heck yeah, the Great Emu War. No, don't ever forget the Great Emu War.
Don't hurt me, PK.
What he said.
No, so I was like, if you can find a way to like catapult something into the city, so like it gets past the first line of defense, you start like catapulting rhinos or something. Like I don't know what you would do exactly, but like just something random, crazy, stupid. Like if you could ride in on an elephant with chimpanzees throwing spears. I mean anything.
I mean, that's
what?
just Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
That's true. That
It's
is
not
true.
wrong.
But what would you guys think would be a great way to, like, let's say we've all been to Minneapolis. We all kind of know the roads in and out of that city a little bit. If you were to take over the city of Minneapolis, now granted it's already being burned down, so let's just add to it, I guess. What would you do?
Ooh.
Because obviously alligators into a Wendy's drive-through window is not just enough. We're going to need more.
Is there a limit to
No, if
what
you
can
want to
do?
take, tigers and drop them out of an airplane with parachutes, you are free to do so.
Do you get to bring Joe Exotic with? Or-
You can do whatever you want, yeah.
Snakes. And
As
a
long
lot
as
of
animals
snakes.
are involved and you're taking over a city with animals. What do
All
you
I'm
think
saying
is the best way?
is
Endless snakes.
emus have a pretty good record. For
They
winning
are
wars.
1-0.
I mean, they are two.
Yeah.
They're 2-0.
2-0, yeah.
They're 2-0.
Hmm.
And I'm
against
saying,
governments.
I mean, like with size, speed, intelligence, firepower, you could work with that. A certain amount of those, you could do some damage. Plus, they're not real; they're drones, so you can do
This is
whatever you
true.
want with them.
Going back to
Use the
week-
birds.
Week 1 or 2.
Yeah, I just use the birds. No, I would say snakes. Of all
Snakes,
different of
huh?
all different kinds.
See, I don't know if snakes could take over a whole city though, because
They
they'll
could take over a plane.
Yeah. That's all I need.
take over.
Don't
a
go
plane.
there.
Trying to think through some of the most powerful creatures that we have, or the smartest. One of which I would love, the mantis shrimp. That thing is powerful. If you know anything about it,
Yep.
Can we make it bigger?
if we could like expand
Genetically
their
enhanced.
size,
Then we get a kaiju.
right,
would
and
be-
that would wreck any city. That thing is.
Is that
beastly.
the one that
It can shoot its claws
Yeah,
out
yep.
past the speed of sound.
Yep, that's the one I was thinking of.
Underwater.
It just
Oh, yeah.
destroys things. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Don't put your hand in the water with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
But seriously, if we
And
can
then,
make
like,
it bigger.
It has a scene that's still attached when it can draw you back in. It's kind of like spearfishing, pretty much.
It's like Scorpion.
And it has
Mortal
a
Kombat.
neurotoxin inside it that actually paralyzes what it hits,
Mm-hmm.
and it just reels you in. Oof, oof.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, there's definitely a lot of situations that you could go through.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna use, we're not gonna make any animals supersized. Like, let's try to keep it somewhat
Yeah.
Normal.
somewhat based in reality. Like, obviously, we're not gonna be dropping tigers out of airplanes
Nope.
with parachutes. But if we were to, how quickly do you think we could take over a city with a bunch of tigers?
Well, if we're dropping things out of a plane, I'm dropping moose out of a
Moose.
plane. Which, funny enough, it's actually illegal in Alaska to push a live moose out of a plane.
Not
but
a dead
that's-
one.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine the damage? Like, you don't realize how. Like, we look at a moose, and most people think, oh, it's about the size of a deer. No,
They're huge.
They're
they're
Those
like
are
the size of a
monsters.
truck.
Yeah, but you know what is even better than a moose is a polar bear.
Ooh,
So
true.
There's not that many of those actually, though. So
I mean, there's
you're
not that
limited
many,
in your
but
amount.
okay, so we could go grizzly bears. I mean, grizzly bears take out moose.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
also incredibly skittish. So I don't know. The humans
I-
might scare them away just as fast as
What
they
about
get
like
at the humans.
trainability? Like, can we train these animals to do something?
Yeah, which I mean, there's grizzly bears that have been trained. So I mean, you could.
Sure.
I mean, I think grizzly
That's
bears
not the
might
norm,
be.
though.
I think it might be the best bet to go with a bunch of trained grizzly bears. We can drop them out of a helicopter or something. Like we just fly over, or an airplane. Like the big ones that the military uses to take tanks, and they drop the tanks out with parachutes. We can do that with grizzly bears. We'll just start like pushing them out with a crate, and we can take over an entire
I
city.
mean, if
with
you want
those
to be
things,
real,
man.
though, like the number one option is gorilla.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
they have the
gorilla would be a good one.
intelligence, they have the ability to use tools. They're some of the strongest animals in the animal kingdom.
Especially
Like-
when you get some of the silverback gorillas.
Yeah.
Now that's power.
I mean, that's the. But then it's just Planet of the Apes again. So.
Yeah.
See, but
Yeah.
I think honestly though that a grizzly bear would kick the crap out of a gorilla.
No,
No,
a gorilla
no, it
would
would
rip
not.
apart
I'd put a
grizzly bear,
gorilla
dude.
up over
Yeah.
a bear any day of the week.
Alexa, who would win in a fight, a gorilla or a grizzly bear?
Here's something I found on the web.
She has something.
According to reference.com, in a hypothetical confrontation between a gorilla and a grizzly
It's gotta be a
bear, the
hypothetical.
bear would
Can we
most
just go
likely
do it?
win because of its size advantage,
Bull
its
crap.
sharp, powerful claws, and its predatory instincts.
So the grizzly bear would win
Why-
in the hypothetical
I
fight.
don't want it to be hypothetical.
I don't
gotta
believe it. I don't
Yeah,
believe
you
it at all.
think we just get the octagon, dude.
Yeah.
We'll just-
Like that's gonna be the next MMA fight. Like I think we gotta have this happen.
I honestly don't believe it at all. Like maneuverability, being able to use tools and intelligence and the pure physical force, like I think gorilla would just out destroy it.
See, according to Alexa, that's not the case.
And there's gorillas that are like 800 pounds, man.
They said they were outsizing them. Silverback gorilla would outsize the grizzly bear.
Yeah.
So they would win that size advantage. You see, you're doing general gorillas. If we specify outward,
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, how about this, okay? Now hear me out. We can go best of both worlds. We can-
Gorillas riding grizzly bears.
I just thought of that as well.
That was part of my plan, but also not. I was gonna say we could be riding the grizzly bears and command the army while we're dropping gorillas out of the airplanes with parachutes, so they can get on top of buildings and they can take over from above while we take over from below, and then we sandwich all the people in the middle. And then you get gorillas up top, grizzly bears on the bottom. Like there's no one getting out of the city alive. And then everything at Best Buy is ours. We can actually get, Micro Center will actually be able to get graphics cards because, we
No, they're already gone, man.
Yeah.
I'm
They're already
sorry.
gone.
We'll
You're
go
assuming
to-
that they had any there in the first place.
We'll go to the scalpers' houses and their warehouses, and we'll take over. We'll get all this stuff. And
I
then,
don't know where we've gone with this.
then we're rich. So would you do this, do you think, more as a, I'm going to make money, or I just want to cause chaos? Are you the Joker, or are you...
I feel like you're not making money with this. You're just gonna
Yeah.
cause
You're
chaos.
just,
You're-
you're
yeah.
just chaos.
Chaos. An agent of chaos.
Agent of Chaos.
See, I feel like you can make a lot of
Anarchy.
money.
One might say, Danarchy.
Oh, that takes me back.
That does. That takes me
Inside
back too
joke.
far.
Sorry, boys
Oh,
and
damn.
girls.
Wonder how he's doing.
Moving on.
I think going back to the mantis, I saw PK say how you take them out of the water. What do you do then? It's take a play out of the other guys. You just construct a series of breathing apparatus
With kelp.
Mhm.
With kelp. You don't need to. You don't need
It
them
will
to
be
be out of
days
the
at a
water.
time.
Just
Hour 45?
No problem.
That's all it'll take. I mean, it won't take them that long to go through humans.
A lion versus a tuna? Lions don't like water. Oh, that... that's the other thing. Like, if we were to pair up, two different animals from different parts of the world to do this,
It shouldn't go together.
yeah, like a lion and a tuna. It's like we have to take one aquatic, and we take one land. I'm still going to go grizzly bears. I still think that's going to be the best one for land. So what you said, but we can't make it big for water, we can't put steroids in the shrimp or whatever the heck you're talking about.
Orca.
Orca whale,
Yes,
definitely.
I would put-
Orcas.
Orcas are the
Destroy
most
everything.
just violent creatures in the ocean.
See, now I'm picturing an orca walking with his back fins, his legs, like holding an AR-15 or like some sort of just going
Like-
through like an M42, just mowing people down.
Like
dude.
people are afraid of sharks. Orcas eat sharks.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
play with their
They
food.
play with their food.
They do.
It's one of the only animals ever that just messes with their food before they
Am I
kill
not
it.
supposed to play with my food?
Not like
You
an
don't
orca
count sharks.
does.
Not like they do.
Oh.
They'll sit there and toy with it. Like, oh yeah, you can get away, and then
No, you can't.
no.
Yeah.
I love orcas. Orcas are my favorite animal.
Orcas are sweet.
See, I always say that I'm a polar bear just because I'm fat, white, and always cold. So I go with that. So that might have to be one of my favorites.
Do you drink Coke?
No, I'm too white for that.
Then you're not a polar bear.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm too white for Coke.
Polar
No,
bears
so
drink Coke.
they were talking about bats in chat, and
Tim, you look confused. Did you not hear about this?
No, I didn't.
So Coca-Cola held a whole training thing that was teaching their employees to be less white.
Yep.
The corporate office, like for Coca-Cola, they had someone come in and teach their employees how to be less white.
This is true.
I had not heard about that.
You didn't hear about that?
Nope.
It's
Oh, like
ridiculous.
their whole training was like, don't be as white as you are, like be less white or something
Yeah.
along those lines. And
That's wrong.
It's ridiculous.
That's
Let's
weird.
not get into it.
No.
Yeah, let's
I don't
not.
wanna
But,
deal with stupidity.
This is not the time
back
to
to
deal with that
the
level of
back to the
stupidity.
bats thing.
The bats.
Bats would be a good way to do it. Like
Batman.
Terraria was talking
Yeah, I
about
like
it.
to use them in all of my theatrical
yes, you do.
assaults.
Yeah. So
But they
been
actually
bit by a bat.
experimented with it in World War II apparently, like strapping timed bombs to bats and dropping them out of airplanes.
you can
it
just,
was
I mean,
like-
they've trained dolphins
Yeah.
and stuff
you
like
can
that.
train penguins and just put little presents on their backs. And then
They'll just
penguin-
waddle.
Waddle, and
Yeah,
it's so
okay.
cute that people won't think anything of it and they blow 'em
Okay,
up.
penguin.
Just waddle, waddle, waddle.
Yeah, if you think about it, if a lot of these hypotheticals, we just look at the Batman
Yeah.
Mhm.
comics and stuff, and there you go.
The bat shark repellent.
Yes.
If you don't have that, you're doomed.
But no, my wife was in chat. She made a good point that bats did shut down the country last year. So
That is true.
I mean,
That we can say
let's
that
just
now.
use a bat.
Can we?
And now I just think of Wake Me Up When 2020 Ends.
But yeah,
I don't know. So
trying to think of another animal that might.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another one.
Lasers.
Lasers,
Maybe
yeah.
Lasers.
Not layers.
What other animal, like
You could conquer a city with elephants.
rabbits?
You're gonna conquer a city with rabbits.
Rabbits multiply.
Can
They
be,
do,
Can
really
they be
quickly.
rabid rabbits?
No, they're just rabbits.
Oh, not rabid rabbits.
But with how fast they multiply, anything that has a short what's the word I'm looking for?
Lifespan?
Not
Gestation
life,
period?
gestation period. Anything that has a short gestation period,
Lies.
you could just overrun a city.
So a
Mosquitoes.
plague, you're saying?
Oh my god, mosquitoes taking over. Oh, that'd be the worst, dude. Can you imagine just millions of mosquitoes swarming after people, just sucking them dry?
Hundreds of trillions.
Yeah,
It's basically Minnesota.
Aren't they already there?
That's basic. Well, I mean,
Concentrated.
I thought the actual term was blood-sucking leeches for Minneapolis, but we could go with mosquitoes too.
But yeah, like anything like that, anything that's got that short gestational period, you could just overrun the city in weeks
You
if
know,
it's
You
uncontrolled.
have to
Go
put
back to like
disease in
biblical
it somehow.
times. Just go frogs or some locusts. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, locusts.
Well, mosquitoes are locusts.
True.
They're just
One-
species of them.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about like destroying crops and stuff. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
something that it's like scorched earth policy, you know.
But you see, the problem with that is I want to eat food. I don't want this to mess with my supply.
Well, no, because
We're
you're
just talking
taking
about
over the
destroying
city.
a city.
Yeah.
It's
you're-
destroying it. I don't have to worry about any of the
Yep.
aftermath.
No, it's
Yeah.
literally contained to the city.
Yeah, like so. If
Okay.
you're going to go to Minneapolis, it's only taking over Minneapolis. You're not spreading out to like the farmland and the or like
Ooh, a good one to get them then. Rats. It'll eat away
Yep.
at all their supplies, so all their
Yep.
food will be gone.
So New York.
No, that's pigeons there.
you could
No,
do
that's Chicago.
Those are drones.
Those are drones.
Cockroaches. You ain't killing those.
This is
This
true.
is true.
Even a nuke
Somehow
won't
put
kill those.
So
somehow
LA.
putting like a disease or like radiation on a cockroach or something and just
Letting them loose.
that
That'd
could
be
destroy
crazy.
something.
Yeah.
You could just
It's like Family Guy. Those are some bad roaches. I'm gonna cut you up so bad. You go wish I didn't cut you up so bad. No, I'm thinking though. My main plan. See, you went with the numbers. I went with just brute force. I guess I'm gonna stick with grizzly bears, just dropping them out of airplanes, dude.
All it takes is people figuring out what's happening and getting guns, though.
yeah.
That's why you go to a city, because remember they don't allow those.
You know, there's lots of guns.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chicago's gun-free zone.
Yeah, because
Just
that works
because the
so
law
well.
says there aren't any guns doesn't mean there aren't any.
Chicago is a gun-free zone, yet they have microphones on almost every street corner that monitor for gunshots.
Actually, so I was talking to an officer from Minneapolis, and he
Yes.
pulled that up on his phone, and he's like, "Yeah, listen to this." You could hear like pop, pop, pop. He's like, "That was 5 minutes ago on this intersection." He goes, and they actually have the technology to tell you what caliber was fired.
Yep.
Like they have. So I was like, "That is the coolest thing." So
That's
they
pretty
knew
sweet.
it was fired out of a 40, and there was 3 individual shots.
Yep.
And they were able to triangulate it and say it was from this exact spot. I'm like, that is the coolest thing.
That is.
Yeah.
Like just looking exactly where that was. That is so freaking cool. So yeah, that kind of what you were exactly what you're talking about, I guess. But no, so what would your number one weigh then? Because I mean, he has rabbits and stuff. Like I would go with brute force. He did numbers.
I don't know. It might be kind of just depends on the exact city and when I'm doing this.
I don't know. I'd go small with some sort of insect that just kills people from disease or
There's a bunch of mosquitoes.
could be. I don't know. Cockroaches, mosquitoes.
I like the
Locusts,
subterfuge
whatever.
method myself. So, just go in under the radar and just crush. Just
But
whatever
really-
will get past them.
Get a hold of the lizard
really.
people.
The
Emus.
Lizard people.
You're taking over Atlantis, I guess.
Hey, I'll take Atlantis. They had the best technology.
It's true.
Logan, that's Atlantis, not
I
Atlanta,
know.
where you live. Just so you.
Hey, right now you could take that over pretty easily. Trust me.
There's enough chaos.
It's true
there as
though. Like
is.
you brought up a good thing, Tim. To be honest, like a wasp or a hornet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
murder
could be
hornet would be really
disgusting.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
From
There's
Japan.
Let out the wasps. That'll be the end of it all.
Yep.
There's I forget the name of the hornet. It's not the murder hornet, but there's one that is like, I think it's called the cow killer hornet or something along those lines.
Oh,
And
so,
it has the most painful sting in the world. Like it just
Yeah.
those things are huge and they're crazy. The stingers on those things, I forget the exact name. I watched a YouTube video where a guy actually let one sting him.
Yeah, that guy's a moron. He's fun to watch.
Coyote
Oh,
Peterson.
Coyote Peterson,
I love it. I
yeah.
love it.
He's
dude.
fun to watch.
I will watch Coyote Peterson get stung by every animal
I
and bit
just-
by every
yeah.
animal imaginable just because it's fun to me. I don't know why.
because
it-
you're not experiencing it.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, this is from someone that's never even been stung by a bee. So
Oh,
True.
it sucks.
You're somebody who
not
revels
really
in other
fun.
people's misery.
And that's
True.
why we revel in yours.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's true.
I have enough of it. So there's there's plenty to go around. No. I see that comment.
I like
No.
that comment.
I
Let's
see
do
that
this.
comment. No.
There we go.
I like this.
You call it.
PK, I like this. We
No.
should do
You
this.
can call it huge bites.
Oh,
And we're going to end before anything else gets
I like
said
this.
here.
I like
so,
this.
little bites, huge pain.
So we're
Huge
going to end
man
it
versus
here.
bugs.
We are officially done after that. So
What are you talking about? We're just getting started.
Yeah.
this
We'll
could be
talk
a topic
later.
for
We'll make
another
this
day.
happen.
Yeah.
This could be for another day. So, John, this was your last episode.
Yes, it was.
Do you
That's a
have
big
any-
sad.
Anything that
sad.
you would like to say,
Sadness.
you know, for the, I guess, the 4 weeks you were on?
I mean, this has been a lot of fun. It's really great getting to sit down and talk to you guys. I don't know, we haven't talked about it yet, but there is potentially a new video coming for this channel.
Okay.
The interviews that I was talking to you about.
Yes, okay.
So you'll see me around on the channel. I just won't be here.
Yeah, he won't be on the podcast, but he, you know, if he gets a decent camera, whatever, can,
Yep.
you know, he can make stuff. Like, we can still upload stuff that he makes.
We
It just,
have some plans.
it just won't be, he won't be on this podcast. So this is his last week on the podcast. You will definitely be seeing him around in other places, other things.
You might see me, depending on how long we're down here or when we come down here. We're planning on being around the area for either Labor Day or the fair.
Okay.
We're trying to decide.
So we can
because
definitely get you on one
potentially.
of those. But and, you know, this is sad news, but this can carry us into the good news. You will actually have to sit in Logan's spot because in a month,
Yes.
Logan will be moving back to
Logan
this
will
I will
area.
be
Back.
moving back
And
taking
so-
He's
the-
resurrecting.
And so the good news is that Logan is actually going to be sitting
Right
here in
Right
your
there.
spot.
Yep.
Let him enjoy his
Yeah,
last
let
one.
me enjoy my
Logan's
spot.
on his lap.
So,
No,
So-
you get the ground in front.
so the good news, I guess, I you know, we're gaining Logan. The thing that sucks is that we're losing you.
Yeah.
But so we have 4 weeks though between the two, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to try to. There's a couple people maybe we can get a hold of to bring on. If you guys have some ideas, I have some ideas. Maybe Tim could fill in the fourth spot. I don't know. Tim says no, he doesn't want to because he hates us.
That's true.
No, he's just smart
yeah.
enough not to
We'll
get involved
get
in
it.
your
We'll get a few.
conversations.
Yeah, you guys will have
We'll
people
get
that'll
some.
step in. And then what date will Logan actually be here full time?
Well, I
that
think I'm
next
gonna-
Monday, so it'd be what's after the 12th? It'd be the
It'd be the 19th.
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 Okay.
Be
So
the
July
first.
19th,
July
will be
19th will be
Logan's
his first show.
first show back because I'm
Okay.
actually gonna fly down to Atlanta on I think the 13th.
Mhm.
Help him. That's a Tuesday, so we'll have one episode we can record, and it'll be the last one without him. And the plan is I'll help him drive up from Atlanta because it's a long drive, and we, you know, he'll be here for almost a full week before his first show back.
Is
And then
anybody, anybody else confused as to how I didn't type that?
I have
Not
been
really.
this whole time. I was like, when you first typed the hearts, I was like, see you type anything.
obviously his wife's on his
Yep.
account.
Yes,
I get that
she
now.
is.
So
She is probably on the TV right now.
No, that is James.
That-
It's
that's
definitely
his
James.
Always
better
his
be in
son,
bed.
so-
It's always has been.
But yeah, I'll be in chat. I'll try and be in chat as much as I can. I'll try and be around.
You're moving 6 hours away, so obviously you're not gonna be able to get up here.
Yeah, no.
And still be part of this, I guess. So
I'll be around.
it's been super fun having you on the podcast, though. Definitely.
I'll be able to make fun of Jordan from a distance. So
This is true.
We need that.
Yep.
We need more remote
Because
aid.
there's not enough of that already from everyone
Oh,
else. So.
clearly not.
Never.
So we're losing John. We're gaining Logan in 4 weeks.
When do we lose Jordan?
Yep. We'll be here.
You're not gonna lose me, Tim.
whenever he dies of natural causes, so we can use his corpse
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
to help
true.
survive
Like
on a
Weekend
desert
at the
island.
Bernie style.
And hey,
just, like,
and maybe
make 'em talk
due to
and-
natural causes of a bite from some insect or creature.
Yeah.
You know?
Not a
There you
grizzly
go.
bear.
Yeah, we just have to Weekend at the Bernie's body. We'll just like have me and Weston tie our arms and legs to his arms and legs, and
There you go.
Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, 10:30 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. If you're watching this live on Twitch, right here, we're gonna be reacting to the Nintendo E3 Direct. Is that the
Yeah.
technical name for it,
Just
or
Direct,
whatever?
yeah.
Nintendo Direct to E3,
Mhm.
whatever they
Yep.
want to call it. We're gonna be reacting to that. So 10:30 a.m. Central Time, right here on Twitch.tv/Huge Media Studios. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We will see you next Monday.
See you
Bye
guys.
bye.
Au revoir.
See ya.
See ya.